Welcome students to the chapter 7 Control and Coordination. Today I will be explaining about the control and coordination in plants. So what are phytohormones? Phytohormones are the hormones which are the chemical substances which are responsible for control and coordination in plants. Phyto means plant hormones. Phyto means plants. Phytohormones means plant hormones. There are 5 main types of plants, and you'll have to learn with their spellings: auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, abscisic acid, and ethylene. These plant hormones are divided as growth promoter hormones and growth inhibitors. Promoters means those which promote growth, and inhibitors means those who do not promote growth. So who are growth promoter hormones in plants? Auxin, gibberellin, and cytokinin and ethylene. And who are growth inhibitors? Sorry, the abscisic acid and ethylene. You can see ethylene is seen both in the growth promoter hormones and growth inhibitors. So it is a growth promoter hormone also and growth inhibitor also. So in your exams, mainly you will have to write about which the names of growth promoter hormones as auxin, gibberellin, and cytokinin. And the growth inhibitor, you'll have to remember one thing, that is abscisic acid. We call it as ABA. Just D, I have written as C, just check it. What does auxin do? It helps in cell elongation, cell division, and growth. What is the function of gibberellin? It helps in growth of the stems and the branches. The cytokinin helps in cell division and formation of the fruits and seeds. And abscisic acid inhibits the growth. It affects the wilting of the leaves, the falling down of the leaves. It becomes yellow and it falls down. And ethylene is considered both as a growth inhibitor and a growth promoter. It helps in ripening of the fruit. कई बार होता है ना आपके घरों में, you bring mangoes and they had sprayed ethylene and they kept ethylene near it, and sometimes ethylene gas is passed on the fruits and then it is sand, and that will give the ripening of the fruit by man-made, which is not good. So ripening on the trees is mainly also done by the ethylene. Ethylene helps in ripening of the fruits and the flowers. Okay, so the growth promoters, they help in self division of which parts. The root tip, shoot tip, auxin is mainly found in the root tips and the shoot tips. And that is why gibberellin, they are found in the stems for the girth of the plants. Okay, now let us go to the next function of the auxin. We have already studied that because it was there in the introduction of the chapter, that why do the plant bend towards sunlight. You can see over the sun, it is bending towards the sunlight. Why? Because this side is being elongated. Why this part is elongated? Because auxins always are found on the shaded part. So I'll come over here. When the sun is overhead, where is the auxin? Here. Now when the sun is moved over this, on this side, right side, what has happened? This side is under sunlight, but the shaded part is the stem which is on the shaded side is this, and the auxin is moved to the shaded part. And wherever there is auxin, there is growth. The growth is found on this side, and that is why this plant appears to move towards the sunlight. The movements in the plants are of 2 types. One is a tropic movement and one is a nastic movement. Tropic movement means it is directional, only one direction. And it is related to growth. So we can always say that the tropic movements are growth related movements and they are unidirectional, only in one direction. And it is a very slow action. The nastic movements are non-directional in nature. They are growth independent. They do not depend on growth. And the movement can take place in any direction. So you should know what is a tropic movement. Tropic movement is a unidirectional and related to growth. Nastic movements are any direction. There is no fixed direction to it, and they are independent of the growth movements. They do not depend upon the growth. So we can say which one is a growth movement? Tropic movement is a growth movement. Plants' growth or turning in response to an environmental stimulus is called as tropism. Tropo means turn. We will be studying different types of tropism. Phototropism, it is related to light. There are two types of phototropism, positive phototropism and negative phototropism. Positive phototropism means one that is moving towards the light, and negative phototropism means one is moving away from the light. So example of positive phototropism is which one? Shoot. An example of negative phototropism moving away from the light is roots. Geo means rocks, earth. So related to geotropism. So geotropism is again, we can say related to gravity. One that is moving towards the gravity and one is against the gravity. So positive geotropism and negative geotropism, where the gravitation is always being pulled towards the center. So positive geotropism is the root and negative geotropism is the stem. It is opposite to that of phototropism. Phototropism, the positive phototropism is stem, and in geotropism, the positive geotropism is the root. Thigmo means touch, related to the touch. There are negative thigmotropism also and positive thigmotropism also. Negative thigmotropism is that of a grapevine. You can say wherever the grapes, when it climbs up and it touches, that part of a stem will then turn into a tendril and it will take a support of it. And then the growth will start from the other part. And there is a negative geotropism also, that whenever it touches, it will start following it and it will start moving it in that direction. Other is a hydrotropism. Hydrotropism means water. It is related to water. The roots always move towards the water. Chemotropism means chemicals, and thermotropism means heat related. So here we are, the tropic movements are always directional, unidirectional, you can also write, and they are always related to the growth. The phototropism is positive phototropism, negative phototropism. Positive phototropism is bending of shoot towards the light, and negative phototropism is bending of root away from the light. Geotropism means positive is towards the gravity, that is the downward growth of the roots, and the negative geotropism is upward growth of the shoot. The chemotropism means movement is directional and it is towards the chemical stimuli. For example, inside the pollen, the style, the pollen tube will grow towards the ovule. Hydrotropism means growth of roots towards the water, and thigmotropism is because of the response to the touch. So you can see this is a negative phototropism, away from the light, and this is a shoot is a positive phototropism. Geotropism means this is a negative geotropism and the roots are the positive geotropism. Chemotropism means this is a style, this pollen grain is there, the pollen grain develops into a tube inside the style, that is a female reproductive part, and it will enter inside the ovule. This is direction, the pollen tube will always move towards this, and this is growth related. So directional, unidirectional, and growth related. So growth of a pollen tube towards the ovule is a chemotropism. Hydrotropism, you can take an example. Here the roots are growing. Meanwhile, there is a water near it. The roots will always bend towards the water. Thigmotropism, you can see over here, they are tendrils. Here what happened, as soon as the plant has touched here, what happened, the leaves, they turned into tendril, and the tendril has taken the support from the touch here, and it has started growing in the other part. So it has taken a Support from here, only support, it is growing up. So when a plant grows towards the stimulus of the touch, it is said to exhibit positive thigmotropism. Conversely, when the plant grows away from the stimuli, it exhibits a negative thigmotropism. While growing, if the roots touch something, they change their direction and they grow away from the touch stimulus. Nastic movements, as we say, they are non-directional. There is no fixed direction to it. They are not related to growth also. There are different types of nastic movement. The one that we are going to learn according to your textbook is Thigmonastic movement. Thigmonastic means when you touch me not, what happens? It will close down. It is Thigmonastic. Don't take this example under thigmotropism. Okay, I'll go back. This is thigmotropism, example of a tendril. It has been well highlighted in your course about thigmotropism, and you please learn this thigmotropism very well. There are paragraphs at the starting of the topic where the plant hormones is there. And the thigmonastic moment is that of a touch me not. It is a mimosa plant. So this topic has been written in your textbook at two different places. The tropic moment for the introductory part to explain the hormones, and the nastic moment about the mimosa plant later on. So what happens when you touch the touch me not? The leaf will fold and it will droop down immediately. This is because there is change in amount of water in the leaves. Depending on the amount of water in the leaves, it will either swell or it will shrink. That is, it will stand straight or it will fold. So here is a touch me not plant. It is also called as Mimosa pudica plant. You can see this part, swelling part, is called as pulvinus. In the leaf part, this is a leaf midrib, and down there is a swelling part, and that part is called as pulvinus. What happens over here? Inside the pulvinus, the water level will either increase or either decrease, and that will result in the folding of the leaves due to touch. The chemical messengers reaches there, and the water will be released out of the cells in the space between it, intercellular space, and after some time, what happens? The water will re-enter into the cell to maintain its turgidity. Another example of Thigmonastic is that of a Venus flytrap plant. What happens to the Venus flytrap? As soon as the insect touches its heads, what happens? It will close down. It is not a growth related, and it does not have any direction, but it will close down for the digestion of the food. It is a carnivorous plant. Now, there are photonastic movement in the plant. Photonastic means sunlight, and the direction is not fixed. So most flowers open and close in response to light. Most flowers open during the day, so that pollination can be taken place by bees or by small plants. Some plants open during the night to be pollinated by the nocturnal insects. Nocturnal insects means those who are active during the night time. Flowers such as lotus and sunflower are photonasty. You can see the movements of the sunflower moving along with the sun. They open during the daytime and they close during the night. You can see during the daytime they open up, but during the nighttime they are closed. Some plants lower or fold up their leaves at night to prevent the loss of water. This is also called as sleep movements, photonasty, light. When light is not there, they don't want the water to be lost, so that the activities such as photosynthesis is not going. They don't want to lose the water. So what they will do, they'll droop down their leaves down during the night. During the day, the leaves again are held in their position on exposure to the sunlight. This is also a non-directional response and not a growth related. Another example of thermonasty, that was photonasty. Photonasty means according to the sunlight, darkness and light. Thermonasty means according to the temperature. So there are flower like tulip that gives response according to the change in temperature. So they can open up during the temperature changed. You can see all the tulips, they bloom during the winters. Thank you so much.